Hello everybody and welcome to the Season 3 preview of the Club 100 BUKC GT Sport Championship. If you could let me know in the chat if you can hear me well and I'm not too echoey. There's been a few sound issues, that's why there's a bit of a delay getting on. And thank you for joining us. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video if you enjoy it. I know there's a few people already watching in, waiting to see which teams they will be part of. So we will get started in a minute. But as you can see there, the Club 100 avatars are ready and raring to go from the previous two seasons. So first of all, we'll head to a great little friend of ours, the presentation. George Russell would be proud of this one. So with this season we've got some new rules, some new regulations, a new format almost, and a lot of newcomers to the championship as well, and I can see a few of them already in the chat, so that's great news. Hello to Double Dash Motorsport Media on the podium, Cameron Briggs, Walmid, Callum Brawl, Javier, Ruswald, Cameron Briggs, oh no, I've already said Cameron, and Batters Racing Co. So it's great to have you all with us, and as you can see, it is Season 3 of the GT Sport Championship, and it will be streamed live by myself and Andrew Maffa on Double Dash Motorsport Media YouTube channel. So you may wonder why I've said that, but why two people will be streaming it, you'll see soon enough. So the rules and regulations for this season. We continue with 2 races each week, a 20-minute sprint race and a 30-minute feature race, which features a complete reverse grid of the sprint race result. So harping back to the old touring car days almost. Except for us, we will reverse all 14 of the cars on track, not just the top 10. The sprint race will be in a spec car with no tyre wear. This is, if I remember rightly, the Mazda Roadster. I will just double check that. Sam did send me things, but with all the issues I had setting up, I forgot. Let me just find them. Yeah, it's a Mazda MX-5 touring car, which is a brilliant car. We've already had it used a full few times, to be honest, and it's great to have it back on board the series. I think it was used for team versus team before, so it's great to have you there. So just reading the chat saying I didn't say Callum's full name. Yes, we'll get to that afterwards, but there's definitely some people listening in at this stage. So it would be the Mazda MX-5 Roadster, road touring car. That would be with no tyre wear, no fuel wear, and a flat out 20-minute race after a 10-minute qualifying. The feature race will be a GR3 car of each driver's personal choice. So any driver can pick any of the GR3 cars, and you don't have to pick the same as your teammate. Same rules as last year. You can use whichever car you personally would like. But the crux of the matter is there is ×3 tyre wear. Now last season we did move up to ×5. We've gone back to ×3 just to help out some of the pad users a little bit, because with the pad you have to turn a little bit more sharply, and that was causing a bit more tyre wear. So we've evened the playing field out just that little bit for the pad users, because I'm not actually sure how many will be on board with the 2000 will be on board with the controller. Last year we had 3. There could be more this year because of the new rules. this new rule. 2 lobbies with promotion and relegation at the end of the season. Don't think it's quite been decided how many will be moving up and down, but it will be a decision made by Sam Dimolo before the season begins. If he is here, he can add it to the chat if he knows how many will be promoted and relegated. But I suppose it depends how many people we have join next year. But it certainly adds a little flavour to it all, and we'll see how that goes. Javier asks if any required tyres. I believe it's the Sport, hard, soft and mediums, but not 100% sure on that. Javier, yeah, the Sam has just confirmed it's 3 up and 3 down, so you need to be in that top 3 if you're in lobby 2, and if you're in lobby 1 you do not want to be in them bottom 3 unless you want to drop down and have, I'm not even going to say easier opposition, because we don't know. This will take a couple of seasons to even out to the slower drivers being in lobby 2 and the quicker drivers being in lobby 1. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Continuing with rules and regulations, point system I think stays the same, but as you can see it's 25 for a win, 20 for second, 16 for third, 4th place gets 13 points, 11, and then dropping by 1 point per position down to 14th place. 16 places in each lobby, but 1 will be required for the commentator, and we will have a spare 1 if required. So if anybody does want to join in the championship, please contact Sam Dimolo. There's still a chance for you to join, and we'll see whether there's space for you to join whichever lobby it may be. There's also a point for the fastest lap, so if you're having a bad race, still keep going for that fastest lap because you might just get it. Now, a rule which was brought in last year but has been changed for season 3. First year you could finish a race, but you had to try and get rid of penalties, or you just took them at the end. Season 2 we said you had to serve them before the end of a race, or you got a 30-second penalty. And this year the rule stays, but if you've got a penalty you cannot overtake anybody. You need to get rid of that penalty before you overtake anyone. I think there'll be a slight bending of that rule when it comes to pit stops. If anybody pits and you can't help but overtake them, that's obviously a different kettle of fish. But that will be the situation during the races. On track you will not be able to overtake anybody. So that will be an interesting thing to happen during races. We're going to have people backing off in little sections, and the cleverer drivers will lose it under braking and still not lose that much speed. So that little tactic will have to come in, especially on some of the tracks. Here is just a quick reminder of what happened in season 2. Our champion Ryan Sandal, yeah, we'll get it right, Ryan Sandal was the champion, looking like a clear champion, but like season 1, the gap only extended in the final round. If Nathan can really push hard in the final round this year, it'll be interesting to see whether he can get that little bit closer to Ryan. He's finished second twice now. He will really want to take that championship. And while we're on this situation, I will also say congratulations to Nathan and to Mark Ridout, who both raced in a team versus team event over the past 4 weeks, representing Club 100. And if you want to go back, I will try and put the link in somewhere, maybe in the chat a little bit later on, so you can come back to see it. It was a 5-car race, which may sound boring, but what a race it was for the final of that championship, that team versus team. Club 100 got 2 drivers through to the final, and Nathan won it on the final lap with 3 corners to go. It was a cracking race. I wish I was commentating on it, but technical issues in terms of GT Sport wanted to update itself didn't allow me to be there. But it'd be great to see if they will defend that championship for Club 100. Mark did a great job just in the final. A couple of mistakes just dropped him off the pack, finishing in 5th place, but certainly respectable. And I think grew as a driver throughout that championship. We saw a calmer Mark who knew, I think it was race 2 or 3 of that championship, he just managed to control the fuel saving that you had to do in that. Obviously that won't be in this, but that tactic of following somebody else could be all important depending who you're following. Looking further down the championship, I think the surprise of last year was the pacer Martin Robinson. Jumped up into 4th early on and managed to hold off some big names from Club 100 in Trevor Randall, Tim Clark and Kirv Kalirai. Some big names in the series there, but he managed to hold off during this championship. And if you look to the right, BB Racing took the team championship by 6 points. I think it was a little bit more comfortable than it could have been due to the final round that SR Down had. And you can see all the teams have a different colour. That was their base colour for their liveries, and we will be doing the same as it comes round to the rest of the slides of this slideshow. You can see at the bottom as well the domination Nathan had on fastest lap, and he took that into the O plate and dominated the O plate even more so at the end of season 2. Season 1 he won it. Season 2 he dominated that O plate, and at the end of season 3 there'll be another O plate, so that would be great for everybody to join in for that. But we'll head on to this season now, and there is our calendar. So some interesting tracks that we've used and we haven't used before on this championship. So week 1 will be next Tuesday at 9 o'clock, and it will be Dragon Trail Gardens 2 and Monza. Now Monza hosted the final round of last year, and you may have seen Kirv Kalirai's video or Steve Brown's Super GT. Some interesting racing throughout that. You can look back on my YouTube channel, DW Commentary, and see the full rerun of the race there. Cracking circuit to end the season on, and what a day to start the GR3 cars. A week after that we'll head to the Blue Moon Oval. Now that is a very, very small circuit, I think, so in comparison to some of them, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Just looking at the comments, brutal by Kirif. That's interesting. What was I brutal about? If you're on about Callum, I apologise, but I know Callum well enough to know it's just banter, isn't it, Callum? Anyway, into round 2. A week after we've been to Monza, we have the Blue Moon Oval, as I said, and Red Bull Ring. So 2, what may look from the sky and from a bird's eye view, very simple tracks. But it'll be the Red Bull Ring certainly gives out some great racing, whatever game you're on, and on GT Sport it's no different. A week after that, the 23rd of March, we have Sardegna B circuit and Le Sarthe. And for people who don't know, that is Le Mans. So it'll be a great circuit to watch. A very long lap, so possibly only a lap in qualifying to get it right. We haven't got qualifying for that race, but you won't have many laps overall, so if you make a mistake it might be tough to close back up. And in the final race we will have Autodrome Maggiore and Interlagos, which will be great to see at the end of the season. Always brings up a great race at the end of the F1 season, and the GT Sport races we've had around there before, absolutely brilliant. So it'll be great to see again. I keep saying great to see, but it will be great championship all round. The last 2 seasons have been really close, and Sam Dimlow has done a great job of setting these up to keep us occupied throughout this lockdown. And I'd say it'd be great for us all to get out on a circuit somewhere and race each other again, whether it's in Club 100 karts or something else, as a sort of a GT Sport field. But we'll have to see whether that happens at any point. As you can see on the right hand side, the week after that will be the O-Plate event. That was the kart event the last 2 years. Possibly the kart event again. Don't know. It's all a bit of a secret till the end of the year. Just having a look at the comments. We have loving the track choices from Javier. What do the numbers mean on the right of each track? Yeah, the numbers on the right of each track is the time of day that will be set in the game. So Monza will be 12 o'clock noon. Le Mans will be 9 o'clock at night. So the darkness will be in there. So it'll be interesting to see how drivers deal with that. And of course we've got the 2 lobbies, which will be interesting to see who adapts to each circuit and the different cars. So we head to the teams first, and in the words of Mr. Whitty and Mr. Van Tam that we've heard throughout the year. Next slide, please. We have Lobby 2. And the first team to be drawn out is Team Yellow. So this team will have their main colour as yellow. They can have whatever livery they want. They don't even have to match if they don't want to. But this team will have yellow as their main colour. The first driver out will be Jay Elliott. Now, Jay is a Club 100 regular who we've known for many years. Raced a couple of times in this series. Joined me for commentary of a few rounds last year. And it'll be certainly interesting to see if he comes back for the whole season. Not 100% sure whether he's planning to or not. But just to run you a little bit through Jay Elliott. He came second in the Elite Sprints Championship to a guy who got done round the outside by a professional goalkeeper. I don't think getting passed by a professional goalkeeper is that bad, especially when you have the skills of the person who did. But we'll get back to that later on. Jay Elliott's teammate in Lobby 2 will be Peter Harris. Now you can see Peter Harris has chosen his race number 69. I can tell you that Jay Elliott hasn't picked one yet, but that's up to him. That's fine. And these two Peter Harris is also a Club 100 regular, a driver which the whole field pretty much knows. The Iron Man helmet. He's raced in Club 100 since 1998. He was the 2008 Super Heavyweight Champion and a professional Gran Turismo Sport glitcher. So if you're hanging around Pete, he may flash in front of you, and I don't mean it in a rude way. So that's a strong opening team for Lobby 2. It'll be interesting to see who can compete with that. So we head on to the next team, and that will be the team with orange. So orange as their main livery. The first driver in that team will be George Turner. Now George Turner, I believe, is part of the sponsors for Club 100 in terms of racing for G3 Pro. He was also in the BUKC in 2011-2012 for Kingston Uni, and he will also host Lobby 2. So for anybody who is going to be in Lobby 2, make sure that you have George as a friend on your PlayStation so that you can bring him, so you can find the lobby on the day. And his teammate will be Ollie Smith. Now, Ollie isn't a name I know very well from Club 100, personally. He's picked for number 49. He must have updated that after I updated his sheets. And he raced in the BUKC from 2014 to 2016. So certainly knows all about the qualifiers and things like that with BUKC. There's George and there is Ollie. Not raced in BUKC as far back as me. You're about 6 years ahead of me, Ollie, but certainly be interesting to see how you get on GT Sport. These drivers, not many of them have told us much about their GT Sport history, whether they've been in certain, we have had Super GT on here before. We obviously know his history with GT Sport. We've got Mark Ridout. We know he made the UK final a few times, but cards being played close to the chest here. Just having a look at some more chats. Lobby 2 in association with G3 Pro. Yeah, if G3 Pro want to pay me to have a sponsorship on Lobby 2, feel free. I'm always willing. And Double Dash Motorsport Media says, if neither driver uses an Orange Arrows livery, minus 250 points. I actually agree with that. I think if you're in Team Orange, it's the best orange livery out there, I think. If you can name any others, add it to the chat. But I think Orange Arrows is probably the best one out there. So I can't really say if this is going to be a strong team in Lobby 2. It's not a team in terms of me knowing how they go. I'm obviously decent at karting, but whether they're good on GT Sport, we will find out. So Team Purple is the next team. So Purple as their main livery. The first driver in that lobby will be Eric Mignon in car number 28. And his teammate will be Alex Wilmot. So two drivers from last season. Eric, a stalwart of Club 100, a driver we know from endurances, probably sprint 60s as well. He's been in pretty much everything in terms of Club 100. He's been racing since 2008. So Eric joined Club 100 when I joined the BUKC. Not to make you feel old, Eric. So he's raced in lightweight sprints, heavyweight sprints, and hates Spa apparently. I don't know whether he wrote that or somebody else, but our resident Belgian, I think he's Belgian, hopefully get that right. And Alex Wilmot joined the series last year, late arrival to the series, joined up with Mark Ridout when Rob Moore could not make the rounds, and did a decent job with the controller. He's the first official controller driver I have in my notes. Alex, who will be running number 73, ran in the Sprint 60 Heavyweight Championship last year and will be joining the Experience Novice Championship this year, and is a bit of a livery specialist. So if you need a livery, Alex is one of the men you go to get your livery done for GT Sport. So that can be your helmet or your car or your kart. So feel free to message Alex at any point. But Alex and Eric, strong Lobby 2 team there, and could be competing at the top. Team Red is up next, and the first driver for Team Red in Lobby 2 Harry Neal, number 14. And he will be teamed with Tim Maragon, who's going to be driving the number 7. Now, Harry Neal is a driver which most recent Club 100ers will know about. Harry was the Clubman champion in 2017, the year that won. None of us saw him because he just disappeared into the distance. It was a bit like watching Joe Holmes. And everybody was fighting for second place. I say everybody. It was also the year that JV probably wishes that I wasn't around. The amount of moaning I did to him, Harry wouldn't have even known I was about. Or he would have heard me. But yeah, one of the worst seasons of my life, but one of the best for Harry's. So it'll be great to see how he gets on. I don't think he's been on GT Sport that much recently. I've seen him hanging around on Call of Duty though. So maybe he'll be going around with a machine gun trying to shoot down the opposition. Tim Maragon is driving the number 7 and hasn't raced 2 years of sprints in Club 100 in 2014 and 15. So hasn't been around the Club 100 paddock recently, but certainly legible for this championship. I've seen him racing in the British 24 Hours and things like that, and maybe a bit of EPEC at times. And Double Dash Motorsport says, Tim, famous for still one of the most shocking Alpha Live DDM moments of all time. I've got a feeling I know what this is, but if Andrew would like to remind me in the chat or even message me, I think I can remember it, but I can't. I think it's something to do with Wilton Mill and at the bottom of the hill. But we could always come back to that if there's any reminder. Treviso, who's Trevor Randall, saying it's got to be the Silk Cut or NASCAR livery for Team Purple. Yeah, probably. And Tim is actually agreeing with Double Dash Motorsport Media, so we can always bypass that one if you want, Tim, and bring it up in the stream if you end up crashing. But yeah, we might leave that one there, shall we? might consign that to the history books. But yeah, another strong team for Lobby 2 anyway. Harry and Tim, both strong in a kart. Will they be strong on GT Sport? We will find out. Tim clears it up and says, conclusive point, you can roll a Sodi kart. I think that's as far as we need to go. Hopefully you won't be rolling on the game. And if you come back to a Club 100 paddock, hopefully you won't be rolling one of them. Another team for Lobby 2, Team Black. Their drivers, Cameron Briggs in the number 56 and Toby Nichols in the number 97. Now this is definitely two drivers I don't know a huge amount about. Seen the names in passing, but I'm presuming BUKCers. Cameron Briggs is a Club 100 experienced novice, just like Alex Wilmot for 2021. And also lets us know that he's a supermarket delivery driver, so if you punt him, you will go hungry. We'll have to find out which supermarket that is, so we don't have to order from that supermarket if there is an incident. Toby Nichols, number 97, raced in the BUKC from 2017 to 2019 and did a lap around Teesside on 3 wheels. Teesside's bad enough to try and get round on 1 wheel, and I'm presuming that was in the BUKC 24 hours. But certainly if you can get round Teesside on 3 wheels, you must be a strong enough driver. Let's put it that way. And supermarket delivery drivers, I've seen how they drive as well. So actually, I've worked with a few of them and seen how they drive. So Cameron will be very quick. Going off for people I used to work with, maybe slightly erratic, but you know, I'm not saying that will be Cameron. But the eggs may not be in one piece by the end of the race. So we will see how that team gets on. Hopefully a very strong team to compete at the top of the Lobby 2 standings. And Team Blue, I believe this might be the final Lobby 2 team, and it will be Tom Fox, who is racing in the number 10, and Javier Turner in the number 6. Now, Tom Fox, some of you will know from the BUKC, and also you may know his brother James, who takes photos of the BUKC and has been an Alpha Live cameraman at times. But Tom raced in BUKC from 2018 to 2020. Last season won the title with Coventry, I believe, along with Sam Spinell, to name 2 of their drivers. No disrespect to the rest of them. And he was a Club 100 endurance runner-up in 2019. So the series that Double Dash Motorsport team moved up into, Tom had won the year before. So or finished runner-up the year before. So a very strong driver. I know in BUKC he was a very strong driver. On GT Sport we will find out very soon. Javier Turner in the number 6 has done 4 test sessions and 1 race at Wilton in 2020. So a new driver to Club 100. Hopefully we'll be seeing him return in 2021 in one of the championships. So it'd be very good to see how he gets on GT Sport. And I think that's it for Lobby 2. So a strong lineup. I mean, just off what I know personally, you got Alex, you got Eric, you got Harry, Jay Elliott, Peter Harris, Tom Fox, just to name 5 really quick drivers in a go-kart, like mega quick drivers in a go-kart. Whether that quick on GT Sport, you have to transfer it over, but we'll see how that goes. As we got to the end of Lobby 2, we'll just check out the messages in the chat. Cameron Briggs says no eggs have ever been delivered safely. Yeah, I mean, I only worked for one supermarket, but I know what you mean. And Javier likes blue. Well, that's a good news, because you're going to be in blue. If you said you hated blue, we'd have issues. But yeah, I agree with Cameron. A mega quick lobby. And it'd be interesting to see who makes it into them top 3, because they will be able to compete in Lobby 2. And Javier has just confirmed he's doing Sprint 60 in 2021. So great to see you on the grid. And I'll be running through a bit of that at the end of the stream we're on now. We've got... Actually, I'll do it now. Head to the Club 100 website, anybody watching. 2021 calendar is updated on there. We have 6 live streamed events of the sprint series. Just see if I can find the calendar. They will be the 16th of May, Wilton Mill, 11th of June, Buckmore Park, 12th of September, Bayford Meadows, 10th of October, Wilton Mill, 31st of October at Whitehouse, and 14th of November at Buckmore Park. Now, in terms of those being just the live streams, I will possibly be on the cameras. I was last year, whether I am again, but they will all be live streamed and commentated on by Double Dash Motorsport Media. Andrew and Howard do a great job with BUKC and Club 100 and the other series they commentate on, which Wilton Mill Kart Club, to name one. And it is great for them to bring us 6 live events, and I think possibly the season finale is the Buckmore one. Not 100% sure on that. Haven't seen the full calendar myself, but yeah, if you want to race in Club 100, feel free. There is reserve lists with JV at the moment. Head over an email. You may just get onto one of the grids and you will not regret it. But we'll head back after that short commercial break for Club 100 to Lobby 1. Now this is what most people have been waiting for, because they know most of these will be drivers from last season, but some newbies in this field. So Lobby 1, the first team is Team Blue. So we've gone Blue last in the Lobby 2, and Lobby 1 it will be Team Blue as well. Our reigning champion, Ryan Sandall. Have I got that right, Ryan? In the number 1 plate. And he will be joined by Callum Brewell in the number 4. Callum will just be happy he's got a teammate to drag him along. There is Ryan Sandell, 2 times champion of the GT Sport Championship. It'll be great to see whether he can defend a third one. He's had a lot of pressure throughout them seasons and then got to the final rounds and dominated both races. Will we see a repeat of that this season? Proves he can handle the pressure well when it gets to that final round. Callum, a BUKC regular and now becoming a Club 100 regular. Just to run you through Ryan very quickly. Sprint 60 heavyweight 2021 and raced in the Sprint 60 for 2 years as well. So that's Ryan. And Callum, who is racing number 4, he's done lightweight sprints in C2 last season, will be staying in C2 for this season. BUKC from 2014 to 2018 and was a GT Academy UK national finalist in 2014 and is apparently a poor man's key. So Key 25, if you don't know on YouTube, is a very aggressive complainer of bad driving, shall we say, on GT Sport, and I'm guessing Callum must be the same. I don't get to hear it because I'm commentating on races, so in the chat somebody will probably confirm that. Double Dash Motorsport Media says, Callum, why are you physically assaulting the air? Yes, that was Callum winning his only heat race this year at Wilton Mill at the final round. So hopefully he'll be progressing on from that this season and maybe challenging for the C2 Championship. But first, he has this lockdown Season 3 Championship on GT Sport to fight and help Ryan retain that championship. Or even go for it himself. Sorry, Callum, I meant the team's championship. But it'd be interesting to see if he can challenge Ryan in the same team. Team Green. Now, this is not to be confused with Team Green, Dario Franchitti and Paul Tracy over in kart all them years ago. Just to clear up, that thing about key, Callum actually wrote, or it is on that sheet. I am only reading off a sheet. If somebody else has written that, that's not my problem. Team Green, yes, back to them, not the Champ Car team. We have Sam Dimolo in 71, the Club 100 tester and championship organiser for this. Does a great job of it, and we have to thank Sam for bringing us these exciting races since the lockdown in November. Sam's done a great job of hosting this, and it'd be great to see if he can concentrate on his racing, because it seems like it's slightly distracted him, maybe, or maybe he's just not as quick as he is in a go-kart. But he'll be locking his brakes to test the cars out and making sure that they work perfectly for him. And he will be teamed with Kirv Kalirai in number 46. Now, as you can see, Sam is the Club 100 test driver. He's also a Easy Kart champion. I think it was Easy Kart, 2 times Easy Kart champion. So certainly a very quick driver in general. And Kirith, who you can follow on his own YouTube channel, Curve Kart, raced in BUKC from 2010 till 2012, raced in Extreme 60 in 2019, and last year and this year is his Sprint 60 lightweight driver. So a strong team there. Kirith really good at the feature races where you have the tyre wear, and Sam, a bit up and down, has great races and then has poor results every now and again, and it just costs him in this championship. But I certainly can see him, that being a strong team throughout the year, and certainly not finishing bottom of the team's championship. Some comments coming in. Frey Bentos P flavoured. Yes, Kirth likes having the Frey Bentos racing liveries to his cars, and I suppose when it's green it must be pea flavoured or spinach or something else that's green. Kirth has commented that it's been a green Balti Frey Bentos before. Okay. Yeah, maybe it can be green Balti Frey Bentos racing then. But if you get any more sponsors than this, it'd be a longer name than the Imola Grand Prix. The next team coming up will be Team Pink. Now, I know this was requested to be Team Pink and not Team Red. Maybe a BWT livery coming in Racing Point, or maybe they're going for the whatever Aston Martin bring out with a bit of green and a bit of pink. I'm guessing at that. Doesn't come out till tomorrow. But the first driver is Martin Robinson in the number 31. He was 4th in last year's championship and does a great job on the pad. And he will be teamed up with Callum Marshall in the number 12 now, a newcomer to this championship. Martin Robinson, who joined Club 100, I believe, last year in the heavyweight sprints, raced in the novice class, and did a decent job. I don't think he can, his pace was there. It was a learning year for Martin in Club 100, and he certainly showed he's got the pace also on the pad on GT Sport. So maybe one to watch out for this season. Callum, not somebody I know personally. Racing with number 12. Has done one BUKC test session before and the BUKC Drivers' Championship. So possibly even a driver I've raced against. But not a name I know off by heart, shall we say. Be interesting to see how he is on GT Sport. Some comments about it being pink and number 31. Will it be Ocon in the car? Well, Ocon has got GT Sport, so if Martin could get in touch with him, he can, we can have substitutes if really needs be. Sorry about that. But yeah, a very strong team. These lobby teams are really strong and competitive, and hopefully we'll be able to keep it that way throughout the season. Team Orange. So whether they've been tanned too much, I'm not too sure, but Team Orange will be second place in last 2 seasons, and our double O-Plate champion, Nathan Maximin, in the number 31, will be teamed with Mark Ridout. Now this team has raced and teamed together for the Mega Team versus Team, as I mentioned earlier in the stream. So it'll be really interesting to see how these two get on with teammates. It worked really well in the Mega Team versus Team. I believe it will probably work just as well in the championship, and this is I would not want to be competing against this team. 2 very quick drivers. Nathan just missed out on the championship both times in the final round, but dominated the O-Plates. Mark, very quick on his day, Maybe doesn't get on with the GT cars just as well. Prefers more of the road car versions, but has promised us he's not going to give up and he will compete throughout the year. So it'd be great to see if this team can. Well, it will challenge for a championship, let's put it that way, and it will certainly challenge for a team's championship as well. Going back to Mark, actually, last season did very well throughout races. I mean, just a few races, it was just one or two odd mistakes just dropping him back into the field, and that just cost him. And it would just be one odd small mistake a race. It wouldn't be like a huge mistake, it would just cost him just that little bit. So hopefully Mark will be able to clear that up by the time. I think the team versus team certainly helped. You saw him not make as many mistakes, and I think his race at Tokyo was inch perfect in terms of qualifying how the tournament worked. So Curve says this is Hamilton and Verstappen. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was sort of a Hamilton and Verstappen. We see Nathan at the front of every single race, and Mark is literally like Verstappen. He's mega quick, just with the odd mistake. And I believe everybody might now quit the series knowing these two are together, because it's going to be tough to beat that team. Team Yellow. So back to Team Yellow. Brightest team on the grid normally. First driver will be Tim Clark in the number 5. And he will be teamed up with Rob Dowsett in the 36. Now going to Tim, he was in Sprint 60 for the heavyweights last season. Lightweight sprint in 2009-2010. So he joined lightweight sprints when I was still at uni, and when I just finished being in the BUKC actually. Lightweight club sprints in 2011, raced in the Premier Sprints for 3 years, and then moved to endurance with Overdraft Racing and heavyweight sprint 60 last year and this year. So a lot of Club 100 experience. In terms of GT Sport, we have certainly seen Tim compete highly in Club 100, and in GT Sport he's pretty much the same. We've seen him miss the opening round last year and almost got 4th in the championship. Missed the opening round because him and Steve Brown were having connection issues with each other. But very much a tyre saver, Tim is. Very good on his tyres, and that helps him in the feature races. Rob Dowsett, a driver which isn't a stranger to this championship, well, to us on GT Sport. He's raced in Club 100 for a few years and is racing in the 750 Motor Club, I believe, with I'm trying to think of Rob's teammate now. I can't actually remember his name. I should do. I've interviewed him enough times over the years. If Rob is on the chat, you can feed his name through to remind me. But yeah, Rob will be joining us. A mega quick driver. Joined us for a team versus team a few events ago, and very quick. So that could be it. I couldn't pick a team that's going to win the championship in this lobby one, because they're such strong teams, and that's another championship winning team if it runs the right way. So Tim very happy with the symmetrical team photos. Yeah, I've just noticed that. Different points of the same circuit, I believe. By the looks of it, actually, I think yeah, I think they both look like Butmore, but maybe not. Yes, Sam McKee. Thank you, Rob. Yes, it is Sam McKee in the MSV Track Day Championship. Yes, that's right, because I helped interview Sam a few times for the Alpha live streams. Before we get on to the next team, make sure if you've got any comments about this stream, leave them in the chat if you've got any questions, if you've got any queries, and if you've got any comments about the teams we've got, throw them into the chat, because when we get to the end I will try and answer them. So we've got a team purple. That will be opened by Trevor Randall in the number 24 and Luke Battersby in the number 19. Trevor, a common face in Club 100, four-time champion in completely different classes. Heavyweights, lightweights, heavyweight clubman, and then 6 years later returned to be super heavyweight champion. And he's on a pad on he's on a pad on GT Sports, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on with the tyre wear being dropped. I think he struggled a little bit with it last year in terms of the tyre wear, and because of the pad, not because of his speed. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on in terms of making it through the sprint race as well. His pace is there. I think just this last season didn't quite go to plan. And Luke Battersby, his teammate, new to this championship. Luke in the number 19. I actually have no information on Luke. I think he was the only one not to fill in his Club 100 experience or BUKC experience. So I know Luke's in the chat. So if you'd like to leave a little note of just what your experience is on Club 100 and BUKC, that'd be great. I can see a picture of you there in the Club 100 cart. So presuming it's probably not a BUKC history for Luke. We'll just give him a few minutes to put something through. As we look at the comments, Peter Harris saying Treviso, Trevor Randall, basically the fastest racer in the world on pad. This may or may not be true, but he's rapid. Yep, he is rapid. It's quicker than most of us, and we're on wheels, so that's enough said. Podolsky also mentioned that it's being close for the Teams Championship. It is. I do not want to call this Teams Championship, and even after the first round I don't think I'll be able to. So it'll be interesting to see the championship. I think interesting to see seems to be my comment of the week, the way it's going. I'll try and come up with a different word. Luke says he's done some practice sessions over the years, as well as booked more Driver of the Year races. So not a huge amount of Club 100 experience, but that means nothing for this championship in the GT Sports game. And a strong team, another strong team, I believe, from what I've heard of Luke's experience on GT Sport. So I'm really impossible to call at this stage. And I believe this may be the final team, which is Team Black. So black on the livery. I couldn't put riding in black for obvious reasons. But team driver 1 is Jack Cameron Drayton. So Jack will be joining Team Black. And his teammate will be the one, the only Super GT, Steve Brown, in the number 90. Steve, we're delighted to have you back on the championship again this year. Some great videos from you, and I believe all your fans on YouTube enjoyed them last year as well. So just to give you a bit of background, Jack Cameron Lesmo Lungin Drayton, as it says on my sheet. Just put up a YouTube link and said, my career peaked here, been downhill ever since. Yes, I remember Jack saying the only picture he could find of himself was the one on the right there, which is on an Alpha Live stream, who produces these streams for Club 100 and BUKC. And yes, that is him off on the grass. I think I actually remember this happening. He's ran wide out of turn 2 at Wilton, and he's bumping along the grass. Why his hands in the air, I'm not 100% sure, but hopefully we won't have any of that in the GT Sport Championship. Jack raced the last 2 seasons, been pretty decent, not always at the very front, but has had some strong results throughout the season. Callum trying to remember all the Lobby 2 colours. I am sure that Sam will put a list up in the chat in our WhatsApp group when possible. But yeah, Jack, bit of Club 100 experience under his belt, and has got used to the GT Sport game with us over the last 2 years, and I think could be very competitive this year. And alongside him, Steve Brown. Not a lot we can say about Steve. Overtaken by a goalkeeper, a Real Madrid goalkeeper, and been around the Nürburgring a couple of times. I think it was about 24 hours, wasn't it, Steve? I think 24 hours of Jack claims he was pushed into that position. Yeah, we've all been pushed into that position before, Jack. When we haven't got video to prove you're pushed, it's always got to be your own fault. And I'm not posting the link for everybody to see. But we believe you, millions wouldn't. Going back to Steve, yes, he did 200. Was it 200? No, 24 hours around the Nürburgring Nordschleife on GT Sport to raise money for charity. And he really... It took some effort to do that. He was only racing against the AI cars, but to keep it going for that long was brilliant. Raised thousands of pounds, I believe. Can't remember exactly how much, but a great effort by Steve. I think it was at the end of our last season of GT Sport, and Steve, champion in Club 100. Now races in lightweights. I believe he will be back this season, so it'd be great for you to show your support. Head over to Super GT's channel if you don't already subscribe to that. Also head over to Curve Kart's channel and subscribe and like his videos. So I believe that is the last team in Lobby 1. So in the words of the last year, next slide please. Yep, there we go. So as you can see, that's the calendar back up again for the next few weeks. Will be out. Ryan claims Steve made £25,000 for that. So that is and it took him 27 plus hours. Oh yes, it was 200 laps, wasn't it? 200 laps, that's why I had 200 in my head. 200 laps of a Nordschleife, and it took him 27 hours. So yeah, a great effort by Steve to get the 25 grand for charity. So if you've got any questions, queries, comments to put in the chat, feel free. Yeah, head towards Ruswald's channel as well. Sorry, I forgot you got that channel with some great Club 100 coverage on. So Ryan Sandel's Ruswald channel. A driver, along with Nathan, became quite famous from Super GT's videos. But there's the calendar there. Both lobbies will be live streamed by myself and I believe by Andrew Maffa on Double Dash Motorsport Media. Head over to their YouTube channel, like them. Head to Twitter, Facebook, they've got pages on there. If you could follow them on the relative social medias. And it's going to be some great racing next week. Dragon Trails 2 and Monza. I'm not sure which lobby will be on which channel. I believe, just going off what I think I will be commentating on Lobby 2 and Andrew will be commentating on Lobby 1. Should really have a professional on the top lobby. And yes, you are a professional, Andrew, whatever you say. Just looking at the comments. Will the teams be entwined between the lobbies? don't believe so, Cameron. I believe it's just the two drivers, but I'm sure we could probably work something out so that points are worked out between because there's the same colours in each lobby, apart from red and pink, but we can team them together, and even if it's not an official championship, we can work out who's got what results. But it'd be great for a quick mention from Double Dash Motorsport Media. Cheers everyone, see you all next week. Yes, Andrew will be commentating on one of the lobbies next week. Should have Howard and himself doing VRS Suzuka on Sunday. I'm presuming that means you're commentating on another stream. What VRS is, I'm not too sure, but that's probably my ignorance rather than anything else. So some great teams there, some competitive teams, some great circuits we're heading to. The new lobby format with Premier and Clubman's. It'd be interesting to see whether we've got the order right in them in terms of who's quick and who's slow, or slower. And it'd be great to see whether we actually have a competitive championship in both lobbies as close as we've had in the last 2 seasons. They have been absolutely brilliant. Seasons over the last 2 years. I've lost my voice quite a few times commentating on the races. We've had stupidly close races, absolutely ridiculous, but the respect has been there and very few incidents. I've said it now, that's a commentator's curse, but I think we will leave it there for now. Last few comments. Treviso saying it's going to be even more competitive, can't wait. Yes, it's going to be very competitive, so it'd be interesting to see how that goes. And Tim Clark looking forward to getting going again. So I will leave it there. This has been David Whitehouse commentary, showing you the preview for Gran Turismo Sport. The first round will be next week at 8:45 live on DW Commentary and DDM, and we'll put it up on the relative social channels, on the Club 100 channels, to let you know who will be, which lobby you need to watch to support a certain driver. But for now, I will leave it in your capable hands to look back over the teams and see who you think will be the most competitive teams and the most competitive drivers throughout the season. Feel free to leave the comments in the video. I will check through them as we go throughout the week, and when we get to next week I will read some of them out, so feel free to leave them there. I've been David Whitehouse. See you next week, and most of all, stay safe in these